A Man Like None Other Chapter 41 to Chapter 50. You bully people too much. You bully us ordinary people because you have money and power. Come and see, Miss Su is bullying people. Geng Shanshan wouldn't wipe Chen Ping's clothes, she couldn't get over that hurdle in her heart. Chen Ping has always been obedient to her, licking dogs, but now she is suddenly asked to bow to Chen Ping, she can't do it. At this time, Geng Shanshan pretended to be weak, hoping to get the pity and help of the people around her. Snapped. Just when Geng Shanshan wanted to seek help from the people around her, Su Yuqi stepped forward and slapped Geng Shanshan without any hesitation. What nonsense, I'll let you wipe it off now. Su Yuqi said to Geng Shanshan in an unquestionable tone. Geng Shanshan covered her face and looked at the crowd around her, but no one helped out, and she was even a little timid. She had already left in a hurry and dared not stay any longer. The helpless Geng Shanshan looked at Su Yuqi's cold look, she could only take out a tissue, walk slowly to Chen Ping, and squatted down to wipe the saliva off Chen Ping's clothes. Chen Ping looked down at Geng Shanshan with a sneer on his face, but just when Geng Shanshan was about to wipe it off for Chen Ping avoided it. Geng Shanshan was stunned for a moment, then looked up at Chen Ping. I'm afraid your hands will get my clothes dirty. After Chen Ping finished speaking, he wiped it off with a tissue. You! Geng Shanshan's chest heaved angrily, she didn't know how to refute. Let's go! Chen Ping took Su Yuqi's hand and strode out of the mall. Geng Shanshan looked at the backs of the two, her whole body was shaking with anger. She gritted her teeth and said, Chen Ping, you bastard, I will never let you go. But Chen Ping had already walked out of the mall and couldn't hear it. You're quite saucy today. It doesn't match your identity as the eldest lady of the Su family. If this is spread out, it won't affect you well. Walking out of the mall, Chen Ping looked at Su Yuqi and said, I don't care if she's good or not, I get angry when I see that Geng Shanshan. Su Yuqi gritted her teeth, and her face was still angry, but then she looked at Chen Ping, are you scared by me? No. Chen Ping smiled and shook his head, when you show your power, it's quite tasty. Since you like it, then I'll be angry with you every day, right? Su Yuqi turned her eyes. Don't. Chen Ping waved his hands again and again, and immediately changed the subject and asked, where are you taking me by dressing me up like this? Today, there is a big banquet at our Regal Hotel, and all the people of Hongcheng will be present. I heard that the conditions for participating are very strict, and they are not allowed to bring their families, but this is in our own hotel, I don't have to. Invitation, I will bring you in, so that you can get acquainted with the famous people in Hongcheng. Su Yuqi was not selling a lawsuit, she told Chen Ping truthfully. After Chen Ping heard it, he was a little bit dumbfounded. Gu Wenchen held a big banquet for him, and now Su Yuqi wanted to sneak him in. What are you laughing at? What I said is true, and this time the ancient banquet was held to introduce a friend to the big brothers in Hongcheng. Now they are all guessing who this ancient friend is. Do you know how many people want to participate in this banquet, but don't have the qualifications and opportunities at all? If the banquet is not held in the Regal Hotel, I have no chance to bring you in, you have to behave well. Su Yuqi followed Chen Ping and exhorted. Okay, I'll do well. Chen Ping smiled, he didn't tell Su Yuqi the truth, he just wanted to surprise her. Before he knew it, Chen Ping could also feel the change in his heart towards Su Yuqi. Although neither of the two said anything, there were some things that he could feel, tacitly. Hongcheng Hospital. Xiao Yan hurried over, threw a suit to Xiao Lei and said, put your clothes on and follow me. Dad, I'm recovering, where should I go? Xiao Lei asked with a puzzled look. Take you to a banquet. Xiao Yan said. Don't go, my arm is broken, and I am recovering from the injury. What kind of banquet are you attending? When Xiao Lei heard this, he immediately lost interest. He has attended a lot of banquets, nothing more than eating and drinking, touting each other, and wearing a suit very cautiously. He is not willing to go. You bastard, do you know who held the banquet this time? It's ancient. The whole of Hongcheng has gone. You show me well this time. In the future, the Xiao family's property will be handed over to you. Don't lose me. Xiao Yan slapped Xiao Lei's head and said. When he heard that it was an ancient banquet, Xiao Lei didn't dare to say anything, and hurriedly changed his clothes, but he broke an arm, and Xiao Lei himself couldn't change it at all. Where's your girlfriend? Where did she go when she's not here to take care of you? Let her change it for you. At 11 o'clock at the Regal Hotel, don't be late for me. I have other things to do. After Xiao Yan finished speaking, he left. Xiao Lei looked at the time and didn't dare to delay. He called Geng Shanshan and called Geng Shanshan back directly. At 10:30 at noon, the entire Regal Hotel was full of luxury cars, and people with dignity in the political and business circles arrived early. They greeted each other one by one, then took the invitations in their hands and walked into the hotel one after another. However, those accompanying family members could only wait outside the hotel. The reason why Gu Wenchen only invited the helmsman of each family or department for this banquet was to reduce the number of people at the banquet. He was afraid that there would be too many people and it would make a mess, and Chen Ping was annoyed. Xiao Lei also came with one arm on his back, while Geng Shanshan supported him. Seeing so many bigwigs at the scene, Geng Shanshan's heart almost jumped out of excitement. You stand here for me, don't make trouble for me, this time it's not ordinary people. Xiao Yan exhorted Xiao Lei. Dad, I'm not going in. Xiao Lei was stunned and called him, but he was not allowed in. Nonsense, this banquet invites all the patriarchs or high-level executives at all levels, what qualifications do you have? Xiao Yan glared at Xiao Lei and said. Xiao Lei suddenly became a little unhappy, don't let me in, why do you call me here? I'll be sunburned to death. Listening to Xiao Lei's words, Xiao Yan really wanted to give him 2 kicks. There are so many people waiting outside. Could it be that these are all fools? This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It is always good for the development of our company to make more friends, but it is a pity that Xiao Lei will eat, drink, and have fun, regardless of other things. Remember, if I can't see you when I come out, I will cut off your pocket money for half a year. Xiao Yan threatened Xiao Lei. He was really afraid that Xiao Lei would run back if he was unhappy. Hearing that half a year's pocket money was cut off, Xiao Lei shuddered in fright and nodded again and again, I'm not leaving, I'll stay here. Xiao Yan walked into the hotel with confidence. Xiao Lei and Geng Shanshan could only bask in the sun at the door. At this time, Chen Ping and Su Yuqi also arrived. Wait for me here, I'll make arrangements, and we'll sneak in through the back door in a while. After getting off the car, Su Yuqi said to Chen Ping. Chen Ping nodded. Su Yuqi went to arrange it, while Chen Ping stood there a little bored. These people came from the upper class, and Chen Ping didn't know any of them, so he could only play with his mobile phone in a boring way. The sharp-eyed Geng Shanshan saw Chen Ping at a glance. Seeing that Chen Ping had no one to take care of, and was playing with her mobile phone, Geng Shanshan sneered suddenly. Brother Lei, isn't that Chen Ping? Is he worthy of attending the banquet? Geng Shanshan whispered to Xiao Lei. Xiao Lei looked at it and saw that it was Chen Ping. A cold light flashed in his eyes and walked over. Seeing this, Geng Shanshan hurriedly followed, staring at Chen Ping with resentment in her eyes. Geng Shanshan still remembers the scene in the mall just now. Chen Ping, are you even worthy of coming here? Do you know what kind of people are here? Xiao Lei looked at Chen Ping with an air of arrogance. When you wear new clothes, you think you are a high-class person. Yet, Chen Ping gave Xiao Lei a cold look, and did not take care of him. Chen Ping, what about the frenzied look when you were in the mall? What about your beautiful Miss Su, why didn't she take you in? Can't she even get in by herself? Bah! Geng Shanshan spat Chen Ping fiercely again, this time with Xiao Lei around. She couldn't believe it and dared to let her wipe it off. Chen Ping's face was slightly cold. Remember, I will make you lick it off like a dog in a while. Ha ha ha, bah. Geng Shanshan laughed and spat again. Who do you think you are, and let me lick it off for you? Aren't you a prisoner of labor reform? What's so amazing? Everyone, take a look, a labor prisoner even dressed like a dog and wanted to go to a banquet, and he didn't take a piss to take care of himself. Geng Shanshan shouted, attracting many people to watch. Chen Ping looked indifferent, quietly watching Geng Shanshan's hard-working performance. Xiao Lei, who is this person? Look at the face. At this time, a young man of the same age as Xiao Lei asked. You must know that the people who come here are all people with heads and faces in Hongcheng, or family members, who know or have met each other. But looking at Chen Ping's face, he didn't look like someone from the upper-class circle, so someone asked Xiao Lei curiously. He was my girlfriend's ex-boyfriend. He was a dog-licking dog for my girlfriend for 3 years, and he didn't even pull his hand. Later, he was put in jail by me and served 3 years in prison. The first 2 days just came out. Xiao Lei explained with a sneer. Xiao Lei said this, and the people around him cast contempt at Chen Ping. People with noble status like them disdain to stand with Chen Ping, a prisoner of reform through labor. Everyone hides from Chen Ping and whispers sarcasm, but Chen Ping looks indifferent, as if he has not heard. Chen Ping, you have a thick skin in the prison. You are already like this. Do you still have the face to stay here? Seeing that Chen Ping didn't seem to care, Geng Shanshan said with a cold expression. Chen Ping. At this moment, Su Yuki had already made arrangements and walked over. When she saw Geng Shanshan and Xiao Lei, she frowned. What are you two doing here? Of course we are here for the banquet. Geng Shanshan said proudly. With Xiao Lei by her side, she doesn't need to be afraid of Su Yuki. Pfft! Su Yuki suddenly laughed when she heard it. Why don't you go in at the banquet? Is there no invitation, so you won't be allowed in at all? Geng Shanshan opened her mouth, but didn't say anything, because they really didn't have an invitation card and couldn't get in. Seeing Geng Shanshan's deflated appearance, Su Yuki raised the corner of her mouth slightly, took Chen Ping's hand and said, Come on, let's go in. Seeing that Su Yuki and Chen Ping were going in, Geng Shanshan was taken aback. Do you have invitations? I won't tell you. Su Yuki said with a proud smile. Geng Shanshan was about to die of anger, but when she saw Su Yuki and Chen Ping walking towards the back door, she immediately reacted, Brother Lei, they plan to sneak in from the back, and they don't have any invitations. Xiao Lei also found out, and hurriedly stepped forward to stop Chen Ping and Su Yuki. You two have no invitations, how can you sneak in through the back door? I want to inform you. Xiao Lei, are you stupid? This regal hotel belongs to our family. I can enter wherever I like. I jump in from the window, can you control it? Su Yuki looked at Xiao Lei and said with a silly look. Xiao Lei was suddenly choked and had nothing to say. You guys take good care of the two of them. If they dare to enter through the back door, call me out. Su Yuki told several security guards. Got it, miss. Several security guards directly stared at Geng Shanshan and Xiao Lei. Su Yuki dragged Chen Ping into the hotel through the back door, and looking at the backs of the two, Xiao Lei and Geng Shanshan stomped their feet angrily. After Chen Ping entered the hotel, he sent a message to Lin Tianhu and asked Lin Tianhu to drive Xiao Yan away. He didn't want to sit and eat with the Xiao family, and he didn't want the Xiao family to know too much about his identity. Let's see how long Xiao Lei and Geng Shanshan can jump. Inside the hotel, everyone surrounded Gu Wenchen with respect, and some people knew that Gu Wenchen likes to collect antiques, so they searched everywhere, and then came to give it to Gu Wenchen. Beside Gu Wenchen, a burly middle-aged man with a grim face is always vigilant. This person is Gu Wenchen's personal bodyguard Tang Long, who once retired from the Dragon Squadron and once Gu Wenchen was still in power. At the time, he would protect himself closely. Now that Gu Wenchen has retreated, Tang Long has also retreated, protecting Gu Wenchen's safety all the time. As long as Gu Wenchen attends public occasions, he will always take Tang Long by his side to protect his own safety. Everyone, I am entertaining you today. One is not to receive gifts, and the other is not to talk about things. I just want to introduce a new friend to you. You don't have to be too cautious. Gu Wenchen waved his hand to make everyone quiet, and then said loudly. In fact, many people have heard about it for a long time, but now that Gu Wenchen said it again, everyone couldn't help but be surprised. They didn't know what kind of terrifying background the person introduced by Gu Wenchen would have. Not so much fanfare. Why isn't Mr. Chen here yet? Gu Wenchen looked at the time and asked Lin Tianhe beside him. It may be soon. Lin Tianhe didn't know why Chen Ping was still here, but he said it well yesterday. As soon as Lin Tianhe finished speaking, his phone rang. Seeing that it was Chen Ping's information, Lin Tianhe gave Gu Wenchen a look at the information. Gu Wenchen looked at the information and nodded slightly. No wonder Mr. Chen still hasn't appeared. It turns out that this is the case. I didn't think about it carefully. After Gu Wenchen finished speaking, he glanced at Xiao Yan, who was not far away. At this time, Xiao Yan was also waiting for the young man Gu Wenchen said to appear. The person who could be so important to Gu Wenchen was definitely not an ordinary person. If they can cling to such a person, the Xiao family might be able to surpass the Sui family. Just as Xiao Yan was thinking, Gu Wenchen looked at him and said, Boss Xiao. Ancient. When Xiao Yan heard this, he hurriedly stepped forward. What is the ancient order? You are not suitable for this banquet today, go back. In front of everyone, Gu Wenchen directly ordered Xiao Yan to evict him. When Xiao Yan heard this, he was stunned and looked at Gu Wenchen in disbelief. Ancient, I. But Gu Wenchen didn't wait for Xiao Yan to finish speaking, he directly waved his hand, see off the guest. Seeing this, Xiao Yan was very surprised, but he couldn't stay here any longer, so he could only helplessly turn around and leave. This time, everyone speculated that the Xiao family had offended Gu Gu. At this time, Su Yuki had sneaked in with Chen Ping, and the two of them were watching secretly in a corner. Let's hide first, the banquet will start in a while, and we are going out, so that it will not be easy to be discovered. Su Yuki sneaked her head out and looked at it and said. Why do you hide? Since you're in, it would be nice to go out generously. After Chen Ping finished speaking, he went straight out. Su Yuki was startled and hurried forward to pull Chen Ping, but she didn't hold back. Coming. After seeing Chen Ping, Lin Tianhe said happily. Gu Wenchen raised his eyes and saw Chen Ping coming, his expression suddenly brightened, and he quickly walked towards Chen Ping. At this time, Su Wenzong, who was in the crowd, saw Chen Ping appear, and Gu Wenchen walked towards Chen Ping, and suddenly broke out in a cold sweat. This was what he asked Su Yuki to sneak into Chen Ping. If Gu Wenchen knew about it now, would it still be worth it? Su Wenzong walked quickly to the front, desperately winked at Chen Ping, told Chen Ping to leave quickly, and then stopped Gu Wenchen. Gu, this person is a waiter in our hotel, he should have gone the wrong way and ran to here it is. Su Yuki had already caught up with Chen Ping at this time, dragged Chen Ping and left, and said, how do you work, don't look at the road, come here. Wait a minute. Gu Wenchen called out to Su Yuki directly. Su Yuki stopped, and then let go of Chen Ping in her hands. Gu Gu, I made a poor arrangement and let the servants break in. I will give Gu Gu an explanation later. Su Wenzong broke out in a cold sweat, for fear that Gu Wenchen would be angry. Gu Wenchen was stunned. You said that Mr. Chen is a servant of your family. Yet. Su Wenzong nodded, but was quickly taken aback. Chen, Mr. Chen. Su Wenzong didn't understand, how did Gu Wenchen know that Chen Ping's surname was Chen? Why do you still call Mr. Yes, my banquet this time is mainly to invite Mr. Chen, you are just to accompany. Gu Wenchen nodded. This time, Su Wenzong and Su Yuki were a little stunned and couldn't figure out what was going on. Ancient, hope I'm not too late. Chen Ping took 2 steps forward and smiled slightly. Mr. Chen came at the right time, I don't know this is. Gu Wenchen pointed at Su Yuki behind Chen Ping and asked. Ancient, this is the little girl, she is friends with Mr. Chen. Su Wenzong is indeed an old man who has been in the mall for a long time, and he reacted immediately. When Gu Wenchen heard this, he immediately laughed, heroes and beautiful women are the perfect match in the world. After Gu Wenchen said this, the others praised Chen Ping and Su Yuki one after another. Su Yuki blushed so brightly that she didn't dare to look up. Mr. Chen, please take your seat, I've been waiting for you for a long time. Lin Tianhu stepped forward and followed Chen Ping in a gesture of invitation. Chen Ping was also not polite, he walked straight to the master, and a group of people swarmed around Chen Ping. Although they didn't know who Chen Ping was, what they could know was that Chen Ping would definitely be a powerful person in Hongcheng in the future. Gu Wenchen and Lin Tianhu are both such respectful people, and they are also the son-in-law of the richest man, the Su family. Who would dare to offend such a person? Su Wenzong and Su Yuki looked at each other and followed. After Chen Ping was seated, Gu Wenchen sat beside Chen Ping, while the other side was empty, no one dared to do it. Miss Su, this place is reserved for you, you two should sit together. Gu Wenchen waved after Su Yuki with a smile on his face. Su Yuki blushed and sat down beside Chen Ping shyly. Su Yuki's next position was Su Wenzong. Originally, it was supposed to be for Lin Tianhu, but now if Chen Ping and Su Yuki are boyfriend and girlfriend, then Su Wenzong is Chen Ping's father-in-law. Lin Tianhu dare not sit on top of Su Wenzong. After everyone was seated, Gu Wenchen held up a glass of wine and said to Chen Ping, Mr. Chen, this first glass of wine, I will be the first to salute you. Gu Wenchen understood very well that after he had toasted the first glass of wine, he would not need to take care of the rest of the matter. None of the people sitting here would be a fool, they would all know what to do. Old polite. Chen Ping picked up the glass and drank it lightly. Just when Chen Ping put down his wine glass, Gu Wenchen was suddenly stunned, because he saw that Chen Ping's brand new suit was actually spat on. Mr. Chen, your clothes are... Gu Wenchen pointed at the spittle on Chen Ping's clothes and asked. This is when I was outside, and I was spat twice by an unqualified person. Chen Ping said lightly. Who is so bold to spit Mr. Chen? Gu Wenchen's face was angry, his eyes swept to everyone present. You must know that those people outside are sitting on the family members brought by these people, so Gu Wenchen will look at the people present. At this time, everyone's heart suddenly bulged, and their hearts continued to bless, hoping that it wasn't their own family who did it. Ancient, it was the girlfriend of Xiao Lei, the son-in-law of the Xiao family. That woman used to be Mr. Chen's girlfriend, and now she is next to the Xiao family. She feels like a superior person, so she spat at Mr. Chen. Su Yuki said. The Xiao family, you are really brave, I will call that Xiao Yan to ask now. Gu Wenchen frowned and slapped the table fiercely. He also knew why Chen Ping wanted to send information to drive that Xiao Yan away. It turned out that there was such a festival with the Xiao family. And the people present also understood in an instant. This time they knew that the Xiao family was going to be unlucky. It seems that the business dealings with the Xiao family should be cut off quickly. Ancient, calm down, this kind of trivial matter, I can handle it myself. Chen Ping smiled lightly, not taking it to heart at all. At this time, Xiao Lei and Geng Shanshan were like ants in his eyes. Outside the hotel, the poisonous sunlight made Xiao Lei a little upset. Brother Lei, drink some water. Geng Shanshan handed Xiao Lei a bottle of water. Xiao Lei took a big gulp, rubbed the sweat on his forehead, and muttered softly, I can't go in, what are you waiting for here? I'm really sick. Although he complained, Xiao Lei did not dare to leave. He was really afraid that his father would cut off his pocket money for half a year. Just when Xiao Lei was drinking water, he found that his father came out of the hotel. Xiao Lei was overjoyed and hurriedly said, "My dad is out, we must be able to go in." Xiao Lei and Geng Shanshan hurriedly greeted him. "Dad, why did you come out? Can we go in now?" Xiao Lei asked excitedly. "Go in the fart, I've been kicked out," Xiao Yan said angrily. Xiao Lei was stunned for a moment, and then said, "Dad, what's going on? Why did you drive you out?" "How would I know?" Xiao Yan glared at Xiao Lei angrily, "Don't be ashamed here, go back with me." He came excitedly, and now he can only go back in despair. Xiao Lei and Geng Shanshan didn't even go in the door. The banquet has already started, and after about 2 hours, the banquet is coming to an end. Everyone's face is red and the conversation is very happy. "Chen Ping, when did you meet Gu? And Gu was so polite to you. You are the protagonist of this banquet, and you didn't even tell me." Finally, Suleyuki seized the opportunity, pulled Chen Ping aside, and asked very dissatisfied. "At that time, you took me away in a hurry, and you didn't say that you came to the banquet? I found out later, and I wanted to surprise you." Chen Ping laughed. "Your surprise is really big, I was scared to death at the time, you are so bad, you can't hide anything from me in the future." Suleyuki punched Chen Ping in the chest, the force was very light, it was completely flirtatious. Chen Ping grabbed Suleyuki's hand, and the two looked at each other. No words, no communication, only eye contact. Chen Ping slowly approached Suleyuki. Suleyuki wanted to hide, but she didn't move. Her heart was very contradictory. Seeing that Chen Ping was about to kiss, Suleyuki closed her eyes and waited for that moment to come. "You got something on your face." But just as Suleyuki was nervously waiting for that moment, Chen Ping suddenly said such a sentence. Suleyuki opened her eyes and saw Chen Ping Zheng looking at herself with a wicked smile. "Damn, I'm ignoring you." Suleyuki punched Chen Ping fiercely and ran away blushing. At this time, Su Wenzong watched his daughter run away with a blushing face, also smiled slightly, and walked towards Chen Ping. "Mr. Chen, do you have any plans for your future? Do you want to start your own company?" Su Wenzong asked Chen Ping. Chen Ping immediately shook his head, "I don't want to." Chen Ping wants to cultivate now and improve his strength as soon as possible. As for starting a company and doing business, Chen Ping really doesn't like it, nor is he good at it. Seeing Chen Ping shaking his head so happily, Su Wenzong was stunned for a moment, but he quickly smiled and said, "That's okay, this girl Yuki doesn't look like a girl, but she is very good at running a company and doing business. It's enough to have her." After Su Wenzong finished speaking, he left. Chen Ping looked at Su Wenzong's back and smiled helplessly. He could understand what Su Wenzong thought. After all, he is only Suleyuki's daughter, and in the future, he will hand over all his business to Suleyuki. If he and Suleyuki really come together, then everyone's business will always need someone to support him, but Chen Ping really doesn't like doing business. Soon, everyone was full and ready to leave, saying goodbye to each other. But at this moment, the door of the banquet was suddenly pushed open, and then dozens of people broke in, all of them holding weapons. Seeing these people who suddenly broke in, everyone present was shocked, while Gu Wenchen's face turned cold, and Tang Long, the bodyguard beside him, rushed directly to his waist and pulled out a half-foot-long machete, guarding Gu Wenchen. "Before God! Security, where's the security?" Seeing someone rushing in, Su Wenzong shouted loudly, but no security guard came in. "Mr. Su, don't shout, none of your security guards can get in," the visitor said coldly. "Feng Sihai, you suddenly brought someone in, what do you want to do? You must know that this is a banquet prepared by the ancients." Su Wenzong asked loudly. It turns out that these people are all members of the Along gang, and the leader is Feng Sihai. Feng Sihai walked quickly to Gu Wenchen, bowed and said, Gu, I don't mean to disturb, I just came to find Lin Tianhu. At this time, Lin Tianhu had already clenched his fists, and as soon as Feng Sihai entered the door, he knew he was here for him. Zhu Yatang and Along gang are mortal enemies, and the two are also deadly enemies, but for the time being, no one can do anything to the other. Usually, Lin Tianhu would bring many brothers to attend meetings, but this time around Gu Wenchen, Lin Tianhu was a little careless and didn't bring any of his men. Another reason was that Chen Ping was there, so Lin Tianhu was relieved. This Feng Sihai must have got the message, and he brought people here. As long as Lin Tianhu is killed, Zhu Yatang will be headless and will soon be annexed by the Along gang. I don't care who you are looking for, but can you break into my banquet at will? Gu Wenchen asked with a cold face. Ancient, as I said, I was just looking for Lin Tianhu to settle accounts, and breaking in was a last resort. Feng Sihai said respectfully. Bastard! Gu Wenchen suddenly slapped the table, are you trying to go against me? Ancient, I don't want to fight against you, but I also don't want to let Lin Tianhu go. This kind of opportunity is a rare opportunity. Besides, for such an important banquet in ancient times, only Lin Tianhu was invited, but Feng Sihai was not invited. This is obviously because I don't like my Along. Help! Feng Sihai said, neither humble nor arrogant, obviously because Gu Wenchen didn't invite him. The reason why Gu Wenchen did not invite Feng Sihai at that time was because the hatred between him and Lin Tianhu was too deep and it was not convenient to come here. Feng Sihai, are you? Gu Wenchen's face flushed with anger when he saw that Feng Sihai was not giving face. But before he finished speaking, Lin Tianhu stood up and said, the husband does everything alone. Since you came after me, let's compare. After Lin Tianhu finished speaking, he immediately took a stance, ready to respond to Feng Sihai's attack at any time. There is a kind, then I will kill you today and take your Zhu Yatang into the bag. Feng Sihai said, striding towards Lin Tianhu. Presumptuous! Gu Wenchen slapped the table fiercely, and his whole body was full of anger. Everyone present was frightened by Gu Wenchen's anger. Tang Long, who was beside Gu Wenchen, saw Gu Wenchen's anger. He jumped up and landed firmly in front of Lin Tianhu. Feng Sihai, don't give the old face, you are courting death. Tang Long's body burst out with a strong fighting spirit, and the bones on his body were crackling. Feng Sihai stopped attacking, frowned, and looked at Tang Long. Tang Long, if you fight to the death today, you may not be able to beat me, not to mention that I still have dozens of subordinates. Humph, whether you can win or not, you will only know if you try. Tang Long snorted coldly and took a stand. Ancient, I didn't want to be an enemy of you, but you keep pushing me, and I'm not easy to mess with the Along gang. It's a big deal, and no one here will want to go out alive. A cold glow flashed in Feng Sihai's eyes, and it seemed that he had already made desperate preparations. Gu Wenchen's face was flushed red, and his whole body was trembling slightly by Feng Sihai. There was no one in Hongcheng who didn't give him face, but today Feng Sihai made him lose face. However, looking at the dozens of murderous subordinates behind Feng Sihai, Gu Wenchen was also a little embarrassed. Feng Sihai had come prepared, and he was really going to be coaxed, and things were really not easy to handle. Ancient, let me and Feng Sihai make a break today, you all don't care. Lin Tianhu saw that Gu Wenchen was in a dilemma, and after speaking, he took the initiative to attack Feng Sihai. Lin Tianhu punched out, with a whistling sound, extremely fast, and his strength exploded to the extreme. He knew that fighting with Feng Sihai could not have the slightest reservation. When Feng Sihai saw that Lin Tianhu actually took the initiative to attack, his face suddenly sneered. He did not dodge or dodge, facing Lin Tianhu's punch. Bang! Lin Tianhu smashed Feng Sihai's chest with a punch, and a huge counterattack caused Lin Tianhu to step back 3 steps, but Feng Sihai didn't move at all, not even injured at all. Lin Tianhu's face was a little pale, and he looked at Feng Sihai in horror. At this time, Feng Sihai's strength has increased a lot. Ha ha ha, Lin Tianhu, your punch is like tickling, don't stop, keep hitting. Feng Sihai raised his head and laughed loudly, but he didn't take Lin Tianhu in the slightest. Lin Tianhu is also considered a hero, and he can't stand Feng Sihai's public humiliation and provocation. After shouting angrily, he walked towards Feng Sihai again, but this time Lin Tianhu grabbed a solid wood stool. Wow! The stool slammed on Feng Sihai's body, and instantly shattered, while Feng Sihai was still standing lightly, not moving. Lin Tianhu, my hard qigong has been completed, you can't hurt me, now it's my turn. After Feng Sihai finished speaking, he kicked at Lin Tianhu. Lin Tianhu couldn't dodge, and was kicked out by Feng Sihai. A mouthful of blood spurted out and fell to the ground. The severe pain made Lin Tianhu's face extremely hideous. Looking at Lin Tianhu's appearance, Chen Ping frowned and was about to get up, but was stopped by Su Yuki. Don't be arrogant, this guy seems to be very good at fighting, you are not necessarily an opponent. Su Yuki is afraid that Chen Ping can't beat Feng Sihai and is injured. She still doesn't know the relationship between Chen Ping and Lin Tianhu. No matter how powerful Feng Sihai is, Chen Ping will not sit idly by. Before Chen Ping could start, Gu Wenchen said, Tang Long, teach him a lesson. Tang Long nodded, clenched his fists, and rushed directly to Feng Sihai. Facing Tang Long's attack, Feng Sihai would not be so relaxed, and would not dare to stand and let others hit him. You must know that Tang Long's punch, whether it is strength or speed, is stronger than Lin Tianhu, and has reached the extreme. Feng Sihai turned sideways, dodging Tang Long's punch, and after dodging Tang Long, Feng Sihai didn't make a move, but looked at Gu Wenchen and said, Guo, I said that I don't want to be your enemy, you really are you going to force me? Gu Wenchen's face was gloomy and he didn't say anything. And that Tang Long was so easily escaped by Feng Sihai, he suddenly felt that his face was completely lost, and he said angrily, stop talking nonsense, take the trick. Tang Long swung his fist backwards and threw it directly at Feng Sihai. If this punch hits, his brains will be thrown out. Feng Sihai's eyes narrowed, and his face was also angrily said, if that's the case, then I'm welcome. After finishing speaking, Feng Sihai, a catcher, grabbed Tang Long's wrist directly, and then swung it towards Tang Long with a left hook. Tang Long was startled, his head turned slightly to the side, and then kicked out, trying to force Feng Sihai back. However, Feng Sihai did not hide, and let Tang Long kick him in the chest. The huge anti-shock force caused Tang Long's body to be directly shaken and flew out. Tang Long managed to stabilize his body, but looking at the surprised expressions of the people around him, he suddenly burst into anger, Feng Sihai, today must be divided between you and me. With that said, Tang Long charged towards Feng Sihai again. Stop! Just as Tang Long rushed towards Feng Sihai, a figure suddenly appeared in front of Tang Long and stopped Tang Long directly. You are not his opponent, and it is meaningless to fight, I will come. Chen Ping stopped Tang Long and said. Tang Long felt a burst of humiliation, and said sternly, let's go, with your physique, I'm afraid that one punch will kill you. At this time, Tang Long had already lost his mind, and he even spoke rudely to Chen Ping. He had forgotten the identity of Chen Ping. That was an existence that even Gu Wenchen respected. However, Tang Long has not experienced Chen Ping's ability, so in his heart, he does not have much respect for Chen Ping, just because of Gu Wenchen's face. The way of martial arts is gradually advancing. Chen Ping is only a young man in his early 20s. Even if he learns martial arts from his mother's womb, how powerful can he be? Shut up, bastard, you dare to be disrespectful to Mr. Chen. Gu Wenchen immediately reprimanded Tang Long when he saw that Tang Long had spoken unkindly to Chen Ping. You must know that Gu Wenchen seldom taught Tang Long a lesson, and he never regarded Tang Long as a servant, but today Tang Long actually said Chen Ping, How could Gu Wenchen dare to let him let his temper? Tang Long closed his mouth, but he didn't have much respect for Chen Ping in his eyes. What he was afraid of was Gu Wenchen, not Chen Ping. At this time, Su Yuki also came up, pulled Chen Ping and said, "Don't be arrogant, don't you see that even Lin Tianhu and Tang Long are not opponents? You are a medical student, don't mess around." Su Yuki thought that Chen Ping only knew medical skills and nothing else. Today is such a suitable occasion, I should show it well, otherwise, how can I be a poor boy like you, the eldest daughter of gold? When Su Yuki heard this, her face suddenly became shy. This was the first time Chen Ping said such a thing in public. Wouldn't that be the same as confessing to her? I don't care what you look like, I just don't let you take risks. Su Yuki took Chen Ping's arm and prevented Chen Ping from doing it. Hurry up and step back, your fists and feet have no eyes, it's not your time to be brave. Seeing that Chen Ping came up to show himself, Tang Long said with a look of disdain. After speaking, Tang Long jumped up again and attacked Feng Sihai. Hey, it's said that you are not an opponent, but you are beaten up, you are really stubborn. Chen Ping shook his head helplessly. Stop talking, go back. Su Yuki pulled Chen Ping to sit back again. Tang Long jumped up this time, but just as he moved forward, he was kicked on the chest by Feng Sihai, and blood overflowed from the corner of his mouth. Gu Wenchen and the people present watched this scene, each and everyone was shocked. Tang Long's own face was also hot. He could clearly feel that Feng Sihai didn't use all his strength, but as Gu Wenchen's personal bodyguard and in front of so many people, Tang Long's face really had no place to rest. Now he would rather be beaten to death by Feng Sihai than admit defeat. You must know that people who practice martial arts regard their face as more important than their lives. If he admits defeat today, his reputation in the future of Tang Long will also stink. I am afraid that he will not want to mix in the circle in the future. Gu Wenchen probably will not. Using him. Feng Sihai, use all your strength, I can die today, but I must not lose. After Tang Long finished speaking, his face became flushed, and his body began to slowly swell up. Storm Fist. Tang Long let out a loud shout, and his bulging body seemed to be deflated in an instant, and it recovered as before, but Tang Long's body rushed out like a cannonball. Feng Sihai frowned, it seems that you won't give up if you don't show the trick. Feng Sihai squatted slightly with his legs, and cracks appeared on the marble floor under his feet, but Feng Sihai's clothes rose automatically without wind. I fought with you. Tang Long's eyes began to turn a little scarlet, and he punched Feng Sihai fiercely. Bang! The huge sound, like thunder in the sky, made everyone cover their ears. Feng Sihai didn't move, and he didn't even shake his figure, let alone injured. Tang Long was stunned for a moment, but then the rainstorm-like fist fell on Feng Sihai. Bang bang bang! It's almost there. Feng Sihai finished speaking and punched out. Bang! The two fists collided, and Tang Long's body flew out instantly, hitting the ground heavily, and he couldn't get up for a while. This time, everyone was dumbfounded, and Gu Wenchen also grew his mouth in shock. Lin Tianhu's body trembled slightly. He never thought that Feng Sihai's strength was so strong. Lin Tianhu, who was trembling in his heart, secretly set his eyes on Chen Ping. Now, I am afraid that only Chen Ping can hold down that Feng Sihai. Tang Long, who fell to the ground, tried his best to get up, but he failed twice. You, who did you learn hard Qigong from? Tang Long asked in shock. Ye Feng Chun, do you know each other? Feng Sihai stood up straight and said. Hearing this name, Tang Long's face suddenly changed greatly, he looked very afraid, and Lin Tianhu's body was shaking like a sieve. Obviously this person, they both know each other, and they are amazing. However, the others didn't react at all, apparently they were very unfamiliar with this name. Yet? Who is Master Yet? Tang Long asked. That's my master, and I learned this hard Qigong from him. As soon as Feng Sihai's voice fell, Tang Long suddenly looked depressed, sighed and shook his head slightly. No wonder I'm not your opponent, it turns out that you have already apprenticed to master yet, I admit defeat. Tang Long actually conceded defeat. He, who was going to work hard, conceded defeat when he heard the words Ye Feng Chun. Chen Ping frowned slightly, looked at Lin Tianhu and said, "Who is this Ye Feng Chun?" "Mr. Chen, Ye Feng Chun is an ancient martial arts master with very strong internal strength. No one knows his true strength. I heard that now Master Ye can pick leaves and hurt people." When Lin Tianhu talked about Ye Feng Chun, his heart was still full of lingering fears. Pickling leaves hurts people. Chen Ping smiled slightly, "Is that so?" Chen Ping said, picked up a toothpick, flicked his fingers, and the toothpick instantly shot at Feng Sihai. Feng Sihai didn't have time to react at all, he was instantly hit by a toothpick on his arm, and only a small section of the whole toothpick was still exposed.